Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You may inquire, Mr. President.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please state your full name.
Maria DeLiberato.
And how are you employed?
I am an assistant public defender, and I'm also the executive director of Floridians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty.
And how long have you been with the Public Defender's Office?
I've been with the Public Defender's Office for 6 years, and I had a prior job as a capital defense lawyer before that,
Okay.
and a prosecutor.
At some point in time, you met Shelby Nealy, is that correct?
That's right.
You see him in the courtroom?
I do.
All right. And initially, did you meet him because of your role as a public defender?
Yes.
All right. That relationship, attorney-client relationship that started between you and Shelby Nealy when you were a public defender and he was a client, at some point that ended?
Yes.
All right. When that ended, did you continue to cultivate a friendship with Shelby Nealy?
Yes.
Right. Could you tell the jury about that?
Sure. I mean, I continued at the beginning. It was just sort of to ease the transition. A lot of times in these kinds of cases, you know, they're really emotional and hard, and clients get used to certain representation. So I continued to talk to him to ease the transition. And then just so he has someone to talk to. He's been in solitary confinement for a long time, and it's really difficult. So more just to continue talking to him, making sure he's okay. He's someone that I care about.
All right. Is this something that you do with other clients, or is this strictly something that you've done with Shelby Nealy following determination of the legal representation?
So this is, I would say, the first time in terms of when the case was like still pending that I continued the friendship. I still maintain friendships with, and you know, checking in on a lot of my prior clients. This kind of work just sort of happens that way. So I do still keep in contact with clients that I no longer represent, but I would not when their cases necessarily were still pending. I can't think of an example where that happened.
Okay. Do you feel that this is a friendship that's almost like he's become part of your family?
I think so. That's how I would describe it. Kind of like older sister, aunt, maybe. I mean, he doesn't have any family here locally, and again, he's in solitary. So I think, you know, he became someone that I spent time talking to. He got to know, you know, my boyfriend, his family, my friends, lots of other people in my life. So sort of welcomed Shelby into the fold.
And has he spoken with your parents at some point?
He has. A couple of times he's called, and they've been here to visit, and they sort of know, of course, what I do and support what I do. So he's definitely said hello to both of my parents and my brother.
Okay. How often would you say you speak with him?
It depends. In the beginning, it was definitely more frequent, especially because, you know, of the transition. And over the years, a little bit less. I mean, I try to check in on him whenever I can, you know, maybe once a week or so. You know, not long conversations, but just sort of checking in and making sure he's doing okay.
All right. You indicated that he's solitary. What does that mean?
So in the jail, he's held in a single cell, so he doesn't have contact with other inmates. His only contact is with the guards or anybody that would come to visit him.
All right. And has that been the case for most of the time that he's been incarcerated?
Yes, there's been a few times when they've tried to move him off of solitary, and then he was always moved quickly back.
He always what?
Was moved quickly back.
Okay. When there were times when there was talk about moving him out of, it's called protective custody?
Yeah.
Okay. What would his reaction normally be as far as reaching out to you?
He was always very worried and scared, and he would always ask me, please call Bjorn right away and see if he can contact the jail and get me moved back to protective custody. He was always worried for his safety.
Okay. Outside of being a lawyer and outside of the things that you do as it relates to the death penalty, you travel.
I do.
And you climb mountains.
I do climb mountains, very
Okay.
large ones.
And mountains that might actually be dangerous to climb from time to time. Is that?
I think that's fair.
Okay. When you plan these trips over the past several years while you've had Shelby Nealy as a friend, Do you tell him about your trips
I do.
in advance?
Yes.
What's his reaction to you telling him about these trips?
Two things. He always likes to sort of know what other people are doing on the outside to sort of understand what the world might be like, and he's also always worried about my safety. Obviously I understand why we're here, and I know the terrible thing that he's done, but he also is a very caring individual, and he always would worry about my safety and make sure that, like, I would be okay, and he would always tell me to be careful.
Okay. Would it be fair to say that he's intrigued by the adventures that you go on?
Oh, yes.
Would it be fair to say that he appears to be relieved when you return safely?
Yes, he always wants to know, and there's definitely been times where I've, texted somebody in the office or made sure that, I think I've texted his mom a couple of times while I was traveling to let her know that I was safe so that she could relay that message to him.
Okay. While Mr. Nealy has been incarcerated and he's going to be incarcerated the rest of his life, right?
Correct.
Do you anticipate that regardless of where he ends up, if he ends up on death row or serving life in prison, will you continue to have contact with him?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. While he's been here in the county jail, are you aware of the fact that he has actually written a book?
Yes.
Do you know the name of the book?
Finished.
Okay. And has it been published?
Self-published on Amazon.
Okay, all right. So pretty much anyone can publish a book if they wanted to?
Yes.
I mean, you had to type it up or have someone type it up?
That's right.
But it can be published. So
Yes.
It's been self-published. If you go on Amazon, you can look it up and buy it if you wanted to,
Yes.
right? Okay. Have you read it?
I read it when he was writing it handwritten, so I read it sort of chapter at a time. Yes.
Okay. Is it your type of a book?
I mean, I would say it's probably not. It's creative. Mostly for me, the idea that he did that while in custody just shows I knew he wanted to have a purpose, and it's a much better use of his time than I've seen in many other circumstances. I enjoyed reading it because it was something that he created.
Okay. So instead of causing problems and getting in trouble, staying busy writing a book, and that's a good thing.
And trying to find a purpose beyond what we're here for.
Okay. Who would you say, based on your understanding of the book, the audience would be?
I would say a teenage boy, for sure.
Okay.
My partner has 2 sons, and I would recommend his youngest son read it.
Okay. Shelby has 3 children, is that correct?
That's right.
All right. And what are their names?
Mackenzie, Bella, and Oliver.
All right. Mackenzie's the oldest?
That's right.
Okay. As far as Bella and Oliver, is he allowed to have contact with them?
He's not.
Okay. And is there something that he's been doing while he's been in the county jail that involves you and involves his 2 youngest children, Bella and Oliver?
Yes, he's been writing to them on their birthdays. He's gotten cards from the commissary and written those cards and given them to me for safekeeping in the event that either he's ever allowed to have contact with them or when they become of age that they want to have contact with him, whether or not he's alive. He would like me to get those cards to him after they come of age, or at least have them available should they have questions about him. And they're basically cards from he bought them in the jail, so they're like Hallmarky kind of cards.
Okay.
With a handwritten note just about happy birthday, I miss you, I love you, I'm thinking about you, you would like this toy, or I'm thinking about this, and basically just like that.
All right. And you're just holding on to those in the event that in the future they may want them or
Yeah, and in my experience doing this work, I've never had an adult child of a person in these circumstances not want to at least reach out for information and to at least have a conversation with their parent.
Okay.
Whether they continue that relationship or not, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, but giving them that opportunity feels really important.
Okay. During the time period that how many years have you now known Shelby?
I started here in March of 2019, and I think I probably met him maybe sometime that summer, so sometime maybe later that summer or fall, so about 6 years.
Okay. And have you seen any changes in him during that time period?
Yes, definitely. You know, he used to not, when things would change in the jail and things would get moved around, he would have a really hard time with change and get very upset, never in a like acting out like in an angry way, but just really like overly concerned and anxious. And over time I've noticed, to the point I think the last time he was like moved, I happened to be in the jail when they were moving him, and he was just like, here we go again, can you let Bjorn know? And there was like, he just had done so much better. He's just done, I think, so much less sort of anxiety, and over the years I think he's gotten much sort of calmer and certainly more mature.
Okay. There, in the past year and in the past several years, we've had some natural disasters, hurricanes in this area.
Yes.
What, if anything, do you hear from Shelby when the hurricanes are coming and afterwards?
He's always concerned. He's always checking in. He'll call a lot to make sure that we're safe, that things are, okay if we lose power. My boyfriend and I happened to be in Hawaii when the Maui wildfires happened. We were actually trapped in our car for about 30 hours while the island was on fire. And Shelby knew that I was there, and there was a great deal of angst and to make sure that we were okay and safe. And so I was able to I think I texted his mom that like, we're okay and we're not in any danger. Anytime there's something that he is sort of, he's very helpless in the jail by himself and solitary. And he's always making sure that not just I'm okay, like, are my friends okay? Are my neighbors okay? He knows the, woman who owns my yoga studio, who's a dear friend of mine. He asks about them by name all the time.
Okay. Shelby Nealy has pled guilty to some really horrific crimes.
Absolutely.
And for that, he will die in prison one way or the other.
That's right.
From your experience with him, is he capable of loving others?
He absolutely is. And I have both in my head and heart grief for what he's done, and also know that he's more than the worst thing he's ever done.
Okay.
And there was one point you said the terrible thing he's done. You recall saying that?
Yeah.
And what you mean is the terrible many things that he's done, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's convicted of 4 counts of murder, yes.
Right. Over the period of a year?
Yes.
Okay. And you say he's been writing letters for his kids, Bella and Oliver?
Yes.
Now, their mother, Jamie, isn't going to be able to write them any letters, right?
Nope.
He never gave her that option.
I mean, he's pled guilty of her crime, yes.
Their grandparents, Richard and Laura, they're never going to be able to write them any letters, Christmas cards, anything like that, right?
Nope.
Okay.